amazing experiences. So let's go and enter this sacred space together in reverence. And reverence means we don't bring our guilt, we don't bring our pain, we just come with gratitude and open hearts. And we acknowledge this sacred infinity healing chamber, the gold and silver cone of light above and below us. And we acknowledge that we are in a sacred space between the worlds. We acknowledge all the guides and energies that are here. And in your heart, declare, I'm ready and willing. And feel yourself begin to open, to enter this sacred space, to receive my crown chakra upgrade, and to have this experience of awakening and transition that is optimal for my highest good, my soul's path, and my blooming intuitive powers. I'm open and receptive, and I trust in this moment I am guided with divine light in every step of every journey. Just breathe yourself in and ask all of you to come back from the future, the past, whatever you're thinking and planning. Come into your center. Give thanks to your body. Ask your heart to open and let you be connected at the highest and deepest level to your soul's blueprint, to your intuitive network, to your heart, to your truth, and to the messages that are optimal for you at this time. Namaste and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. So this is the Spiritual Weather Report for August 22 of 2022. So how cool are those numbers and energies? Playing that today. 22, 2, 2, 2, and all these twos we're having means that we're coming back together. It's reuniting, it's unity. And that unity is so amazing because it's coming together on parts of us we didn't remember, we didn't know we needed to remember, we'd forgotten. Other parts of our soul, parts of us that have been playing a job or a role, being the guilty person or the person that says, you're not good enough, don't do that, don't speak up, something bad will happen. And you keep going, but I want to grow, I want to share, I want to create, I want to go out in the world, I want to express myself. All of those things, we want to just say, yes, come on up, come out, because this is a profound moment for everyone. So a few weeks ago, we had something called the North Node, which is a position. It isn't a star or anything. However, the energies is that it is your North Star. It is your destiny. It is your direction in your soul's journey. Now, we have free will, so we can suffer, stay where we are, not change, go back to old things, keep thinking the same, never break the pattern, never believe we're good enough, and we can live a life that doesn't look like we came with much potential. However, that doesn't mean the potential isn't there. Of course it's there. You're eternal. So what we had is this crossing of a destiny path. It's a change in direction. So with Uranus, you've got awakening and change. So a change in your awakening, a change in your destiny, in your path. And what would be so fascinating is if you really understood and decided to take it, I don't like the word seriously, so let's move it. However, if you would take it as a priority to realize the energy you're in. That's the point of the Spiritual Weather Report. So I'm giving you information that can help you make choices during the week, decide when to do what or what not to do this week. Listen for different things. Interpret what's happening, your moods, your pain in your body, the synchronicities, the lack of synchronicities, the moods, the desires, everything, right? You're in a flux, you're in ecstatic motion, as Rumi said, your energy. And Everything else is energy, and it's responding and reflecting to you. So what we're going to do now is, we've been in this upgrade for, well, at least a week, but this crossing of the destiny is being now activated again. It's been going on all month. It's going to keep going on, but it was initiated a few weeks ago. So maybe you didn't feel anything, you didn't notice anything. Now maybe you're having some thoughts that you never thought you'd have, or ideas about different ways, places to live, different ways to work, different ways to work from home instead of at a job, to start a business, or to change a relationship, or to travel 3 months of the year, or who knows. What you really want to do is see if you can find out what house your the North Node crossing was in for you. So for me, it's my house of career, etc. For Chris, it's in his house of health, etc. So we're specifically watching for what's the change in his destiny of his health. He had a severe seizure. He's still very limited in what he can do. So we're excited. What's this going to mean? For me, it means, in my business, in my direction, in my offers, how will they change? What's the tone? What's the vibration? So for you, well, now we're adding to that that's already been happening with this Regulus star, royal star. There's 4 stars they call royal stars. And sometimes there's some really interesting meaning behind why they named these things, what they did. And sometimes it was because, of the time frame and the mindset. So what we want to do is look at the energy. So what does the energy mean? Now, I touched on this last week, so we're going to do a quick review, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the other energies that are happening this month, like we're going from Leo to Virgo, we're going from fire to earth, we're going from fiery confidence or wanting to take action, that more masculine energy, into the goddess, into earthy goddess, reliable, patient, caring, loving, organized Virgo. And we have the new moon in a couple of days, which always means, it's a certain energy. It's dark, so you want to be careful, because when you're in the dark, you can't see everything. But it's a loving dark, and when you connect to the moon in your way, I like Ishel, the Mayan goddess of the moon, you get embraced by that silver ray, that goddess, that silver goddess ray, that divine, sacred, feminine energy, which we're learning to balance and receive more. So we're moving into a lot of divine feminine energy, and we're moving into a lot of energy that's very loving and caring and supportive, like holding you like a mother around a toddler, right? Watching, helping, supporting. This is the kind of energy you're moving into. So use your last few days, I don't know what it is, about a week, maybe a little less than a week, of Leo energy in a certain way. Acknowledge that the rain is going away, the fire is going away, right? We acknowledge the weather change. And then start to open to this divine feminine energy. It's also related to many things like the fertility goddesses, or mother goddesses, or Mary energy in terms of a mother goddess, or a divine mother type of goddess. So we have some really fun energies that we're going to get to play with. Okay, let's go for it and take a peek here. So we're doing something different now, and I have to focus. All right, there we go. Used to be able to do 50 things at once. Okay, so welcome, Akasha here from nanakasha.com, and I'm really, really happy with the feedback I'm getting on the Spiritual Weather Report. It's something I started a while ago, a couple months ago, I think, and because I'm always asking, how can I take my particular skills, my ability to see, sense, direct, and communicate with energies in different realms and different levels and dimensions, and my other training in with shamans and mystery schools, and all the time I spent working with dolphins and healing and learning healing modalities and becoming a homeopathic doctor, and just all these different things that have become who I am. And how can I serve you? How can I be a channel for the greatest good for you? How can the information come through in a way that you most need it? So Today we are going to do a royal activation. In the past, I have been channeling a guided healing or meditation or activation, whatever you want to call it. These are multidimensional meditations. They're affecting you. They're working with you on all kinds of levels: mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, in your relationships, in this life, in other lives, in all parts of your soul, in the infinite field. And so the energies that you receive when you're with me here on these calls, even of course in the classes and private sessions and all of that. However, it's always coming to you, and I always have us inside of a sacred space that protects you. So when you enter this space, you might feel lighter, you might feel calmer, you might find it easier to let go. So I want to channel that for you. However, I want to keep these spiritual weather reports shorter, 30 minutes and under, to make them easily accessible, because I know I can't sit and watch a lot of long things on a regular basis. Now, if I'm in a class or if I'm in a focus and I'm really absorbing something, I can be in there for 7 hours, right? So I'm separating the meditation, guided activation, whatever you want to call it, into a separate call. It's going to come right after this one. There might be a gap. So if we go 30 minutes today, there'll be a 30-minute gap before the meditation. And we're going to work on how this is going to happen. So either way, you're going to have 2 easy to access videos every week that you will be able to, I want to get the weather report. I want to know what's happening, take my notes. And then I want to go do the multidimensional meditation. And some of them you'll want to come back and do. So today, the meditation will be in the second separate show. It is going to air live and then, of course, be a recording immediately. And we are going to do the crown chakra awakening, of which I'm going to talk to you about now. Okay, good. So let's take a peek. The crown chakra activation, this is from last week, coming next week, coming today, okay? So the recap is we're transitioning from earth and fire energy into earth energy. And we have this royal star. So most people were probably feeling it already Saturday. I had this experience, I think, Wednesday or Tuesday of last week. And every single day I've been experiencing a spontaneous, fantastic, multi-houred. The crown awakening I had lasted from 4 in the afternoon to 4 in the morning. So it was 12 hours, and I was still feeling it and processing it all day. Then the following day, not that same day, but the following day, I had an entire other experience. And so, and I keep having these. I keep going in and out of this reality. It's like there's no veil right now. I feel so easily able to shift my consciousness into another dimension. And I had a whole experience where I stepped out of myself. And this is not a new process that I've done. I've done, decades, over 3 decades of traveling the world, going to vortexes, pyramids, doing activations, studying with shamans, studying mystery schools, studying quantum physics, studying healing work, studying, you name it. I want to know. And then you experience and you do, and you get feedback, and your whole life starts to become, moment to moment, this transformation, this experience that you're having. So, when you go, I'm really ready to be done being the victim, or feeling powerless, or feeling afraid, or not speaking up, or falling into habits of dating the same person, or eating too much, or whatever it is, okay? So the energies that you don't want are coming up into your face as fast as the energies might be of what you do want. And we don't really know what we want, so we want to define it more by energy. Well, this couldn't be a more perfect time for us to step back into our royalty. Royalty, okay? That means you're the ruler of yourself. You're not kowtowing. You're not going to allow any more conditioning in your mind. You're not going to allow any more beliefs or mindsets, whether they're sacred to your family or your church or your childhood friend. You're going to say, thank you, I love you, and allow it all. Do a little ho'oponopono. Thank you, I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. And go to acceptance on this, because what you want to do is say, oh, okay, yeah, that's not working for me anymore, and let it go. And then when you let it go, you rise higher and accept more, that you have what you need, that you are divine, you're light, you're eternal, you've been pre-programmed, you came just like a seed, you already have the blueprint of who you're meant to be within you. If you would let it grow, if you would give it the right environment, if you would love it, right? So this is one of those moments. And energies have been happening. The peak is today. That means we have 2, 3, maybe a week, who knows, more days of really feeling this. But this is one of these moments where you want to know this is happening. It's sort of like, hey, there's asteroids coming. Let's go out one night at midnight and look for the asteroids. They're not happening all the time. So you go out and you watch on particular times. This is a time to give yourself an opportunity. Look at where you've blocked your truth, your power, your belief that you're worthy. Look at who you've given your power to. Was it your family beliefs, your traditions? Was it the fearful or painful or humiliating things that happened to you as a child? Was it failures or losses that you had in work or finances or business or relationships? Just allow yourself to say, whatever is holding me back and blocking me and clogging me from accepting my royal nature, my eternal divine nature. My blueprint is designed perfectly for who I'm meant to be and has everything I need to be here. I'm here on a fully funded mission. Okay? This is not power over others. This is power over yourself, which is the only power you want. You want personal power. Okay? So this to me means you're activating a new level of your royal nature, is how I really felt it as this was coming to me, as I read some about it, and then I go in and I start to sense and talk to the energies myself and see, what am I supposed to receive? What is my intuitive nature, my experiences, my particular expertises, my particular energy, whatever is just right to receive what message? So being your own authority, owning your worthiness, your wealth, your power means you change everything in your life. You no longer can have relationships where it's out of balance. How they shift and change, you don't know. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to keep saying, stepping back into your center. Because as we evolve into beings who can own our freedom with calm and heart and clarity, we will receive more and more connection from our crown chakra to other realms. In the Intuition Awakening Camp this weekend, we had our closing experience, and it was just absolutely mind-blowing because I designed it so it was right in the middle of this crown chakra awakening. So we went through, we did this amazing new process of activating our chakras and using this breath and raising the antenna out of our pineal or our crown and creating a connection, and then I call it the magnetic pulse of the chakras, restarting, rebooting your inner magnetic poles and pulse. It's a light body energy magnetism thing, but it means it defines what you attract, what you see, what you reflect, what you think, what you believe, what you hold on to, and what you open to. And it was absolutely amazing. So right now, you're going to be experiencing this whether you think you can feel it or not. Now remember, you can't access these higher vibrations. You might be saying, I want to talk to my body. I want to know why it's having this pain. I want to talk to my angels. I want to talk to my fairies. I want to talk to the ocean, the ancestors, the animal spirit guides, my dog. I want to talk to my higher self. I want to know, have more guidance and flow in my life where I don't feel so stressed and worried about paying attention at every moment. Good. That's exactly what we want, because we want that, because then you're going to open to it. You don't want it from lack and craving. You say, oh yes, I like this. And you write it down on your order form. Just like you're putting an order on Amazon. There isn't a bunch of emotion around it, other than maybe if you have emotion around the money, but you know what I mean. If you say, oh, I would like to release my lack of self-esteem and step out of my old self and no longer see myself as burdened or waiting for the other shoe to drop, or good enough and happy for a while, but of course it's going to be taken away, or whatever. Those are some of my old patterns that I stepped out of recently, again. And so you can't be filled with lack, which means I don't have it, I can't have it, it's not here yet, I don't know what it is, arguing for your limitations, complaining, rejecting. Every level of non-acceptance means it's lack. You're seeing and focused on the lack of it. You can never, ever, ever receive abundance when you're holding lack. It can't happen. It's the reason you're stuck doing what you've been doing for decades or years or hours or whatever it is that you've been happening. Okay, so this is what I told you last year, is to prepare for your crown chakra week opening and get ready to switch your mind from poor to rich. Now, energetically, don't get caught up in money, 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 money. Don't let money, money, money run your life. There's money. There's plenty of money. There's money there when you need it. Believe me, it's there. Clean up your energy, okay? Tune into what's happening around you. Listen to the parts of you that are in pain or grumbling or whatever is right in your face, because that's the energy that your higher self, that your truth, that your unfolding is wanting you to look at right now. So you go from the poor mind or the poor girl or the poor boy in your head, like I can't and I won't and it never happens for me and why isn't it here and this is worse and that is worse and so on and so on. That mind, it's not that you ignore the fact that you fell down and broke your leg. Oh, I'm just going to think positive. Get someone to take you to the doctor and get a cast on it, okay? So you do your reasonable things. But if your whole day is absorbed in thinking over and over and over about the poor things, the things you don't have, the things that haven't happened yet, feeling into it, you're reinforcing it, you're telling your body intelligence, you're telling your higher self, you're telling your whole entire light body that what you want it to create in the future coming towards you is this: poor, 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 no, 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 not enough, and whatever. So you find moments in the day when you do your meditation or you do your activation or you're in one of my classes or you do a session with someone or you sit in the garden and you let go and you stop thinking and you just give yourself some freedom. It's great. And then you do your chants and you burn your incense and you do all your beautiful things. I love all these things. And it's wonderful. But then you go back to either talking about or thinking about all the things of lack. And the problem with this is it is not being realistic. It is what's creating your life. So this star energy we're entering today is also a guardian type of energy. And it has a lot of energy similar to Jupiter, which is abundance and good fortune. And this is what I really want you to do, is to write down, I'm ready and willing and open and receptive as it aligns with my highest good and what is optimal for me at this time. To step into being my own authority, reconnecting to the leader, the master, the eternal, divine, royal nature within me. I'm ready to trust my inner self. Now, the great thing about saying that is it's going to show you when you say this, either out loud or not, it's like poking something. And the energies are going to come up. Oh, the voices might pop up in your head. You are not a leader or a master. You're not that good. And so on. That's the poor voice. Good. We want to poke it. Where are you hiding? It's time for you to leave, right? We're going to transform you and give you a bath and a makeover. And you're going to come back as the part of me that connects me to my authority and make sure that nobody gets in the way of me ever thinking that somebody or something outside of me knows better, unless I am in a very aligned student relationship, if I am learning for my highest good. All right? So all these things. So let's take a look now. Regulus, the royal star, is peaking today, and we are experiencing a crown chakra awakening. I don't know what you've been feeling it, but if you have been feeling something, you're not alone. On Saturday, several of the students said, of course, they're in an accelerated intuition awakening course, activating it, doing practice, getting feedback. They're in a growth loop. I put my classes like this in a growth environment where you get the learning, and then you get the activation, the cleansing, the healing, the experience, and then you connect at a higher level, and then you practice, you put it to work right there, and then you get feedback directly. And that creates growth so fast because you get the experience and you get the feedback that affirms what you just did was kick-ass awesome. And then the smiles, the release of energy that I see. So, huge crown opening. Let me share what happened to me a little bit. It was 12 hours, so who knows what all really happened. But, so this was last week. I'm still processing it. Then the next day I told you, I think I had a huge download, and I chanted and I danced and I stepped out of myself and cried and wow, it was really intense. So this moment is very intense. So because of this, in the afternoon, both Chris and I were walking around, and since we've been having construction in the heart of the home, we have 3 stories, and they're basically 3 rooms, 3 big rooms. And the middle one is the living room and kitchen for the main house. The bottom floor is actually a casita, so it's like a studio. It's like one big room, living room with a kitchen and a bathroom. And so we've been staying in there during the day and coming up to the top floor at night. And the middle room we haven't used. So I've started going back in there because we have our granite counter there, which is a giant crystal, exotic crystal from Brazil. And I've been putting things in. I've been going in there to meditate and to work sometimes and getting it cleaned up and ready. And we were walking around the casita together in the same space. And we're doing our own thing. Sometimes we even have headphones on because we've gotten used to doing a lot of things. When I'm on a private session, I go to my bedroom. But so we both started feeling weird and odd and lightheaded. And I do a lot of energy work and spiritual work every day. And so it's not a shock to me when I have these things. But I started feeling so overwhelmed, I couldn't stand up anymore. And what it really was like an ayahuasca journey, like a mushroom journey, but really intense. So it was a psychedelic. It was very physical. It was very palpable. The pressure on my face, on my skull, and it was just like it was pressure exactly on my skull, across the top, and then across my forehead. And it was like pushing down, almost flattening my forehead. Oh, like the Maya. Wow. And then over my brow, around my eyes, and most powerfully right over my nose. So like something was laid over the bridge of my nose and down over the top of my cheeks, right up here under the eyes. And this is your pituitary, your third eye chakra center, right here between the brows. So this is where I was feeling very deep, intense pressure. Then massive pressure pushing the forehead back, and then down through the skull again. I could feel my bones over the teeth, the top teeth. So that whole front part, really pressure. And it went on for hours. I had to go through phases of trying to figure out if I was sick, if I was ill, if we were poisoned, did I need to call for medical help? And so I did something I do is I work with all the parts of me, and I said, okay, part of me has to be in charge of if this is dangerous and we need to call for help. You do something to bring me out of it, because I was completely gone. We were both laying head to head on the couch, and occasionally we were just going into altered states, and he hadn't said a word, I could tell. And one of us would say, it feels like an ayahuasca journey. And the other one wouldn't say anything. And then he would say, this is exactly like ayahuasca. And then my stomach started to get upset, which it does on ayahuasca. And I started to belch, and I never threw up, but it was just like it. It was like, oh, the nausea. And then that phase lasted several hours. And then that went away. And it was very expansive. It was very vivid. And all my senses were continuing to get heightened. Now, because I've been teaching the Intuition Awakening class for about a month now, and we do 2 classes a week. We kind of do this in an accelerated way to keep putting it in and doing it again, move through it, get to that next level. I was watching it, so I became myself experiencing it, and I was in my body, and I was tuning into the consciousness of my body intelligence or my body elemental, and I was like, oh, like feeling it, right? And I was wanting to hear and listen and watch what is the energy? Where's it coming from? If I was doing a reading, a soul reading or a session or a soul awakening session or whatever with somebody, I would be watching this. They might be telling me this is what I'm feeling, and I would be watching their energies, and I would be receiving the information about what it was and what information it held. All energies have information. So if it's in your body, it's talking to you. If it's in your mind, if you're having psychedelic visions, it's talking to you, okay? So part of me was watching, like the teacher or like the observer or like the part of me that was like, oh, good, we're going through this already. And there was movement, constant movement in my bones, like snakes, like that kind of movement, like this moving, really smooth kind of movement. But it was constant. It was never just pressure. This was moving, and it felt like, well, is my sinuses breaking up? Are they moving? Sometimes it would feel like that. And I started to have images, but they were very muted at first. And I'm very visual. I'm a visionary. I'm a seer, and I've become that over time. It did not happen at first. and the visions weren't coming. They weren't clear like movies sometimes, but I'm just watching and I'm sensing. So it just felt like hours of being in this dreamlike, moving the consciousness in and out of dimensions, processing a lot of fear about, am I sick? Am I going to have to go to the hospital? Is this going to be a drama? Trying to figure out if we had been poisoned somehow from something. That part faded after a while, of course, and then there was like a releasing of that fear. So the skull moving and the ears and the sinuses and across the bridge of the nose and all of these things, it just went on. And at one point I was like, I have to go to bed, but it's 2 stories up. I have to climb a whole lot of stairs. I'm not even able to stand up off the couch. So after I had gone through hours of releasing the fear and watching, then I was watching and I was observing and I was becoming more full of gratitude and just surrendering to the experience, because that's what you want to do when you're if you go have an ayahuasca experience, you want to let go and just you puke, you have your fear come up, yay, but you're there for that cleansing, which then leads to these enlightened visions and psychedelic colors and all kinds of fabulous things happen. So this was an opening for me that kept happening. And I finally did kind of crawl up the stairs, and I left Chris on the couch because he was completely out. And I got upstairs, and then I started to feel really sick, and I wanted him up here. So I started to call him, and he didn't hear it. So I talked through the Alexa, which is kind of like a what do you call those things? Intercom. And he came upstairs. He didn't lock up. He's like, what? And I'm like, no, you need to lock up and come up. I need you here. So then we both were able to just lay in bed. I ended up having to be in the bathroom a lot. So there was a lot of watching the stars and watching the moon and being in this kind of ecstatic state where I was moving with the stars and communing with the celestials. It wasn't in a conscious directed way. Everything was being directed for me. And this led to a lot of other things. Then the next day I had this, Chris was taking his afternoon nap on the couch downstairs. So I thought, I'll go up into the living room and start putting more things out. I was getting out my sacred things, my statues, my Buddhas, my drums, my different things and incense and lighting candles and chanting and dancing and moving. And then it went from just cleansing and clearing the space and thinking about how I wanted to re-enter this heart of the home and how we've completely changed it. And there's this new crystal in the heart. And I was just being really conscious of the moment. And it has felt ever since that crown chakra night that I'm walking around extremely expanded, not in a bad way where I'm being overwhelmed by other people's energies. I've done a lot of work on that. It could still happen, but that's why you do light body work. That's why you do your energy work, is because you need to strengthen your ability to handle energies and to not take on others and all of that. So I was doing all this. It was lovely. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. And it was like, suddenly energies came into me and I was dancing in ways I didn't know. And I was moving in ways I didn't know. And this happened to me a month or so ago, where I started to be the ballerina I was. I was actually a ballerina when I was under 10 years old. And I was doing things with my body and standing and posing in ways that I don't think I can actually do. So this part of me took over me. And some energies that came in, and I was moving, and I started feeling really ecstatic, and I started deciding in that moment, we're moving back into the heart of the home. It's time for me to reclaim my heart, to step back into the center of my home. We've had over a year of construction. We've created this beautiful place. It is almost done. It is time to step back into the center. Well, think about what that means. If you're getting a message like that about something physical, there's also a higher meaning to it. So it was also a call to me to step back into my heart, back in my truth, claim my center, reclaim my power, all the things we know, right? Let go of these old patterns, get rid of the rest of the self-esteem, all of the things that you know. But this was a spontaneous thing coming through me. And then the next thing I knew, I was unraveling. I was going in a counterclockwise motion, holding Ganesha, who's the remover of obstacles, my copal incense, which helps you see in the dark. It's protective. It cleanses deep things, and a candle. And I was dancing, and I was going around the room 3 times, and then I did a whole bunch of other energy work, and then I went around the room with the same things, clockwise. Like I unraveled all the energies, and then I created, I entered into the sacred space. So I've retaken that space. And then I started getting out some more things. And then the next thing I know, I looked to the side, it was dark out, and I saw a reflection of me, but it wasn't me that I am now. It wasn't like looking in a mirror. It was like looking at me years ago when I was very, very heavy, and very, very miserable, and very, very unhappy, and pushing and trying to achieve, and didn't feel good enough, and the difference between me and that person. And then I saw another version of me that looked like someone maybe a couple years ago, so not that far away. And I kind of jumped, and then I felt a love. I felt like a repulse, like, oh no, I don't want to be that again. And I lost weight, and then I put some on over the spring. So I'm in the process of releasing it, but I'm releasing it without judgment, without going back into like, oh, I'm such a loser, I did it again, blah, blah, blah. And so it's just coming, and I'm accepting each day and whatever's happening. So seeing it was, oh no, I don't want to judge that. Oh no, I don't want to see myself that way. But what it was showing me was, these are parts of you. These are your identities. These are who you have thought you were and you lived, and they're still there. And you aren't that person anymore, and you're not meant to be that person anymore. And that is when I began to chant deeply, and I lifted my feet very high, like I was stepping out of a tub, one and then the other. And I stepped out of those identities, those bodies, and I stepped to the right. And then I looked to my left, and I saw her. I saw me. And I began to channel all kinds of different things about releasing it and thanking it and letting it go, and all of the proper ways to feel and think about it that I've learned to do to make sure that this cleansing would open up whatever way it was meant to, because I hadn't planned it. That's the intuitive way. And then I felt guided to hold hands with her, with my left hand, and I was dancing and chanting, and we were swinging our hands like we were little kids, and we were friends. And suddenly I felt so much love for myself, for that me, for me when I felt no self-esteem, for me when I was super fat, for me when I felt unloved, for me when I failed and lost money, for me, all of that, all of those me's. I felt the most incredible love. There wasn't any more judgment. There wasn't any more, oh shit, I failed and I don't want anybody to know, or this or that wasn't good enough, or thank God I'm not that anymore. It all was gone. And I cried and I sobbed from the deepest part of me, and every cell released so much emotion. I love you. And I didn't want to let go of her. And all these realizations were popping as other layers of me, conscious layers, were watching this at different levels. And as it unfolded, I realized, oh my gosh, in this moment, I have the opportunity to take what I've been working on for so long and actually complete it. Instead of being like, wow, this is another beautiful meditation or process or healing, it's great, but then still carrying that idea that, but it's not really gone and it'll come back, and enjoy what you have for the moment, and a lot of the other beliefs and patterns that I've lived with. So I was there, and I realized that Chris might have woken up downstairs and wondered where I was, but he's very respectful and knows that I break into downloads and whatever. So he was there. I could feel him for a moment, and then he relaxed, and I rose up over the home, and I saw and felt and connected Wayanin to the mother, to the sacred land that I called to be at, that I asked to be connected to create a sanctuary. And all of the interesting experiences we've had living here and this construction happening and living inside of all the change, and finally coming back to the center of the heart and realizing that all of these me's, I could love them, but I don't have to be them anymore. I'm not who I was when I was 6. I don't like the same things that I liked when I was 10. So I was crying and sobbing, and I was holding on like you would to somebody who's dying and you're never going to see them again, or who's going away and you know you're never seeing them again. And there's this grief and this sadness in your heart, but I loved you, but I'm sorry if I judge you, but I'm sorry if I hated you. And this whole incredible, profound, palpable, vivid experience on every level. And I don't know how long it happened, but I had to cry a lot. And I had to do some cleansing with some more things and resting and relaxing. And that was the next phase of this crown awakening path that I've experienced. Now, now I have, the next day I had the intuition class. And what happened in that was that this process channeled through me that utilized what I taught, but brought it together in a new synchronistic way. It was like merging more than one thing and bringing it together and watching something new form, and more concise, more powerful, more vivid. The frequencies, the things that people could access, everything had accelerated, everything has lightened. All right, so please be sure that you, I was trying to turn off my screen and then I had my thing shut. I'll take you back to the slides. So this is what, now in the class, in a private session. So I liked it because not everybody gets to see these things, and I get to see different people's experiences. So to me, this is very powerful, because what that means is that I'm not just going, am I the only person experiencing this? Am I weird? What's wrong with me? I see, everybody seems to be having this. And people in the class have gotten so synced up and so in love with each other and so supportive of each other, and just, I love this class, I don't want it to end, all these beautiful things. But what does that mean? Even though we haven't touched each other physically, we are quantumly entangled now. And so I get to share what I see with you, so you know, these other things are possible, and that's possible, and my experiences could be this or could be that, because something I say is going to be exactly what you need to hear. That's why you're listening. So one of my private sessions last week was, these are on special right now, Awaken Your Intuitive Powers. And so this is what I see happening in the class, but done privately. And some clients are coming back again and again and taking the class too to do these. But what this does is this gives us, we get to see what is happening right now in your field, what you're ready for, what's inviting you, what door is right there that you're not opening, what you're blocking it with, all kinds of, it's very exciting. And this one was so vivid and so strong that I already knew this client was quite powerful and having an amazing awakening, and was her psychic skills just popped. And so she came back, and I saw that it was like a construction crew lowering or downloading a huge, enormous, like several feet in circumference wires, electric wires, like they're all different colors, but these were many, many different colors, and they were wound together. And then those sort of ropes were wound together into this huge thing. And it was downloading, and all these little beings were helping to download it into her. But it was just sitting there. It was only downloaded to a certain point, and it was waiting for her. So this was something that she wouldn't have known, and now we were able to connect it. We were able to look for what was blocking it. I've never seen this, and every moment you're here, you're shifting, you're up-leveling, okay? So what we're going to do is to... No, there was more. Okay, there's more. I was like, where's the star stuff? Okay, so I want to tune into this before we close, because it's coming close to our time for our meditation. So this week has fire, earth, dark, new moon, royal star Regulus, giving us an amazing crown chakra upgrade. So fire and masculine energies into earth and feminine energies. Also, take a look. August. We've been in this month of August. It's like being in a container. What it means is inspiring reverence or admiration. So this next week or so we have left of August, see if this container is wanting to inspire reverence within you or for yourself, admiration within you and for yourself. Okay, it's also an adjective for noble, for worthy. Of course, that connects to Leo the lion-hearted, the confidence, the fire. That's still the energy for building and changing and enjoying. Now, it's a split personality month, which is an interesting concept. I think energetically I started to feel this, and I didn't really pay much attention. So the last 8 days, we're moving into this very soon. We're going to go into Virgo. So what is Virgo? Well, Leo is a very masculine sign. It's very powerful and outgoing and fire and change and movement, and sometimes too aggressive and sometimes just lovingly creative and confident. And the divine feminine, the virgin, represents the goddess energy, the pure energy, the eternal you, the part of you that is never soiled and never spoiled and never failed. The part of you, youth is the part you're going to reconnect to. What a perfect thing to have a crown chakra awakening right before, and then go into the womb and again be welcomed into the arms of the goddess. So we have a lot of energy that we're going to move away from, and this earth energy, this Virgo energy, it is reliable, it's patient, it's loving, it's hardworking, it's organized, it's going to have the space ready for you. I know because my mother's a Virgo. Everything was always clean and organized. It just felt like you could just relax and let go because she would take care of it. So how can you gather and use the Leo energies as they depart and embrace the Virgo energy to come aid you in what you have burned in this Leo fire? Begun or will be seeding in the new moon on the 24th. Remember, you're still newly on the path of your destiny change and the collective destiny. So you're going to see a lot of change in the world, and you're not going to buy into it. You're going to stay on your path. You're going to own your power. You're not going to let anything outside of you tell you how to feel or think. Okay, so Virgo energies, this is what you're moving into. You can be embraced by these. You can contact them now. You can send heart messages to them now. Sacred feminine. Now, the ruling planet is Mercury. That is our messenger. Remember, I love our messenger, Thoth. So the planet of all forms of communication, including intuitive communication. Well, if it's sacred feminine energy mixed with communication, that means there's going to be a rise in your communication in your intuitive senses. So listen carefully, receive in whatever way is happening for you. Don't try to be like someone else. Listen to how you're receiving. I need you. We need you. The world needs you. The world that we're becoming, our future selves, needs you and me to listen to who we are, be who we are. We are as unique as a thumbprint in our intuitive nature as well. So you might say, oh, I get visions kind of like that, but mine feel like grape. And then I get the taste, and then I get a sound. And I want somebody over here is like, I don't get anything, but suddenly I know. And then my stomach starts to rumble. And someone over here just receive in your way. Be open to more intuitive, divine feminine energy communications and allow your senses to unfold. That also means you need to be open to receiving more love. You need to be nourished. You need to be nurtured. So like you've gone out and you've done this thing, you've had this August, woo, and now you're going to come in to the new moon and you're going to curl up in that dark womb and you're going to let your seeds be planted and you're going to be nurtured and fed while you're in a safe and organized space so you can receive and understand and get to work sharing your messages in the world. So this is also a rise in technology. Mercury and Aquarius are about technology. And that may not mean like, oh, I don't want to learn how to do that new app. It may be, is there a light body technology? Is there an energy healing technology? Is there a new mindset technology? There's a lot of technologies. The ancients called their sacred processes and rituals technologies because they are. So look for technology that's rising up to love you, nurture you, organize you, that Virgo energy, okay? Purify you, bring you back, make things easier, connect you further, connect you faster. Now your mind is going to be expanding. So you're going to have a heightened intellect. And Virgo is this beautiful divine feminine, but incredibly in the mind, incredibly connected with the intellect. So these are enhancing your systems while the crown chakra is opening. You're widening and breaking down old neural pathways in the brain, and you're breaking through the mind, which is a huge field filled with things you don't need anymore. So if you know how to do energy work, I highly recommend it. Get the Infinity Light Weaving or the Violet Flame Cleanse in the shop or something, and do healing, cleansing, and strengthening. You will be able to better receive and utilize these messages, guidance, energies, power, support that's coming to you, and in every other moment. So every day is the day to do your energy work. So tomorrow you can receive more and you'll be ready. So Virgo is about remembering that no matter what has happened in your life, you're still this pure, untainted, divine, loving essence. You still have that nature. You still have that blueprint. You're made of the multiverse, and you're reuniting with your higher aspects. Becoming whole or healing, you will find wholeness, okay? So becoming whole or healing, you will find wholeness in all aspects of your life. What can you let go of and let become whole again, but in a new way? Don't put the puzzle back together the same way. Let the puzzle pieces fall apart and put your crown on and then rise into it. Get loved up. Go through the new moon because that's where the darkness is, and then come out of it rested, empowered into this new picture of you. Okay, so I want you to be healed. I want you to check on the growth, commune with the elements and the elementals. And you can be doing this all week, but definitely through Thursday, okay? Then the divine feminine, embracing you. Keep returning to that, thanking that. Even if you can't sense it or feel it, acknowledge it. It's here. The unfolding is going to take shape, and it will be organized, maintained, and purified by this Virgo energy. And it's going to be made just for you. So don't try to do it. Be guided, be supported. Now, Virgo is also the self-empowered, self-sufficient feminine power with intellect, logic, and a huge loving heart. So this is what's going to be supporting you. And by the end of Virgo time frame that we're going to be walking with this beautiful divine energy, this is what you want to embody. So let this come into your crown awakening. So these are some of the other goddesses she's related to. And you see Demeter, that's the earth goddess, or Circe, same thing, right? Food, abundance, the ability to create a crown of wheat. So again, we have a crown reference. Virgo is usually wearing a crown of wheat. Well, that was an honor because wheat represented abundance, food, blessings, right? Growth. So your crown is ready for food and abundance and growth, and Virgo is going to feed it. She's the mother to all. She's patient, caring, aligned with Mary energies. I'm feeling more Mother Mary, but if you feel Mary Magdalene, maybe that's part of the energy for you. What guide wants to come through this energies for you? All right. It's also about your body, your health, earthly things, possessions. That's going to be what's getting a boost as we move in. It's harvest time. We're moving into the harvest. The harvest is enjoy and reap what you've sown. Look for it. All right. This was something just I grabbed real quick about this star. It was called the Star of Kings, known as being the heart of the lion in the constellation of Leo. It's the most important of the 4 stars, and the healing archangel Raphael, who's the watcher of the North Star, the north of the compass, that being your direction, right? Certainly in royals' nativities, Regulus is very important, regarded almost as a planet. And it is related to this Leo energy. So we are awakening our crown chakra in the sun, in the gold, in the fire, in the wealth, in the confidence, in the positive ego. Okay, so the energies also include fame, success, honor, wealth, corresponding to Raphael, conjunct, blah, blah, blah. Professional life, maybe. It's a triple star associated with royalty, high position, ambition, power, fame, dignity, and courage. And remember, none of these things are outside of alignment with heart. So this isn't ambition to take over the world and be the king of the world and take everybody's stuff. This is accepting your authority, stepping back into the position of the fact that you can connect to your higher self, that your ambition is to be aligned with your truth, living your path and your purpose, to use your personal power, not for fame in the sense, but this is what used to be thought, oh, a king is this thing over. No, you accept that you are good enough. You step into your own crown with dignity and courage. Okay, that's what I want you to think about and do. And you are also, the benevolent king or queen can be trusted, reliable, they're wise, they're understanding, they're kind, they can handle power, they can handle money, they can handle being intelligent, intellectual, they can handle being the leader. And yes, this could go into arrogant, self-absorbed, demanding, revengeful, seeking pain and fame and craving. And that's why I'm giving you a heads up to watch out if those energies are triggered. Okay, so that seems to be all we're going to do for the day. Good. So I will see you in a moment on the meditation for this. We'll see the crown chakra awakening. You're so welcome. I'm so glad that we could do that. I could share.